CitrusTV News, Remembrance Scholars take a stand by taking a knee. Find out why they protested the national anthem.
And a challenge between the president and his Secretary of State. Why is MENSA getting involved in a battle of wits between top government officials?
And more allegations against exec Harvey Weinstein. Two A-list celebrities accuse him of sexual assault. Find out who and a lot more ahead.
CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
That was from the Onondaga County press conference earlier today. Officials from Onondaga County, NSU spoke about the 13 cases of mumps so far on campus. Hello, I'm Elijah Shama.
And I'm Colleen Callander. Most of those cases have run their course, but if you have been in contact with someone with the mumps, health officials recommend you stay alert. The first debate for Syracuse's mayoral election was last night. 4 candidates took the stage to talk about why they should be elected mayor, and it got heated. Citrus TV's Adam Unger is at City Hall with a full recap.
Thanks, guys. Like you said, I'm here outside at City Hall, and it did get very heated, particularly between Democratic candidate Juanita Perez-Williams and independent candidate Ben Walsh. The two of them were at each other's throats on a number of issues and back and forth and aggressive throughout the debate last night. The two issues that they were focusing on in their attacks on one another were the expansion of the police department and the city-county mergers, guys.
Well, there was a lot of spirited debate last night, but Adam, can you tell us a little bit more about kind of those big subjects that they talked about?
Of course, Elijah. The first one is the gun control here in Syracuse, especially after everything that happened in Las Vegas. Like I mentioned, they also talked about the police and the city-county mergers, along with poverty and crime and finances for the city as well.
And which candidate won the debate? Who stands to benefit the most?
I think Juanita Perez-Williams benefited the most out of this. At the poll that I looked at on Syracuse.com, she's already projected to lead the way. Now, I know projections can be kind of out of left field compared to the real deal, but the Republican Party is divided between independent candidate Ben Walsh and Republican nominee Laura Levine. So between the two of them vying for votes from the same party, I think Juanita Perez-Williams might be able to run away with this, especially if she continues to be on offense in these debates. Her background in law definitely helps her out with that, guys.
All right. The Onondaga County Legislature passed a revised budget for 2018 yesterday after hours of tense debate. Additions to the budget includes new funds allocated to the Sheriff's Department and increased funding for soil and water conservation projects. Many local parks will see their admissions fees rise to compensate for the increase in spending. Despite these increases, overall spending will decrease 1% compared to the 2017. The final vote saw the budget approved 15-2.
Scientists here at Syracuse and Harvard Universities released a map showing that repealing the EPA's Clean Power Plan and replacing it would be worse than doing nothing. The findings estimate that the Clean Power Plan could prevent more than 3,000 premature deaths per year. Syracuse professor Charles Driscoll says repealing the Clean Power Plan would increase fine particle pollution in the air, which is linked to lung and heart disease. Comedian and actor Hasan Minhaj is coming to SU later this month. Minhaj is senior correspondent on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah and hosted the 2017 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Tickets are on sale for $5 with an SU ID or $10 for the general public. Students can pick up tickets at the Shine box office.
The kneeling protests that have swept the NFL have come to Syracuse. 5 Remembrance Scholars knelt during the national anthem at last week's game. The Remembrance Scholars were presented, then remained on the field for the anthem. This is when 5 of them participated in the form of protest sweeping the nation. Ali Abdul tells why he decided to kneel.
Scholar represents one of the 35 SU students that died in the Lockerbie bombing on December 21, 1988, when Pan Am Flight 103 was bombed and crashed in Lockerbie, Scotland. At the race, they could remember the Pan Am Flight victims and the Hurricane Harvey victims at the same time. Their motto is to look back on what has happened in the past and act forward to make the world a better place.
Because the students, 35 Syracuse University students that died, would have done the same.
Great job, guys! Great pace! Keep it going!
Cedar says over 200 people donated $15 and participated in the race. The path was 3.5 miles long in honor of the 35 students the Remembrance Scholars remember.
Just to see the love and to see the encouragement. Everyone's yelling for each other. Everyone just wants everyone to finish and succeed.
And that's exactly the support the Remembrance Scholars want areas affected by Hurricane Harvey to feel when they receive nearly $3,800 that the race raised here in New York.
We want them to feel the same kind of love and unity that we have here right now during this race, and we're hoping to send that over to them for sure.
And as runners step across the finish line, despite feeling tired on the outside, they say they feel great on the inside.
It feels good because you're more than just it being a run. You get to finish with your friends cheering you on, and feels good, really good. Tired but good.
Tired but accomplished. I'm so happy. The turnout today was amazing. The atmosphere is great. Just looking around, everyone here is brilliant.
The Remembrance Scholars posted a message on Twitter after the race, thanking everyone that contributed during the race to remember. David Edelstein, CitrusTV News.
Thanks, David. Today was the 3rd annual flu shot clinic held by SU Health Services.
Faculty, staff, and students got their free flu vaccines this afternoon in Flanagan Gym. Over 1,300 flu shots were delivered at last year's clinic, and Health Services estimated that this year would be the same. Even Otto the Orange got his vaccine.
Health Services says flu shots aren't just to protect yourself, but to protect the campus community. If you missed today's clinic, you can get a flu shot at Health Services every Tuesday between 11 and 1.
It doesn't feel like flu season in terms of temperature, but the rain is really, it's depressing, and it's making me feel like I just want to,
Yeah, it has been gray skies for the most part. Nicole, are we going to see them?
The rain, as you guys have mentioned, has been on and off all day, and we should expect those showers to continue throughout tonight. It's currently about 60 degrees outside, but tonight's low is at 48 degrees. So if you plan on going out tonight, definitely make sure you have a jacket with you. But considering how dreary and cold it's going to be tonight, you might as well just want to stay indoors and stay dry. The showers, we should expect them to stop tonight around 4 a.m., but tomorrow the rain may continue. I'll tell you more on my full weather forecast.
Wildfires continue to rage through California. Congress approved a bill to give relief to victims.
And North Korea hacks the U.S. What did they get? Find out when we return.
Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years.
Yeah.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Colleen Callander, Elijah Shama, and Nicole Weaving with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
Some breaking news. President Trump is planning to nominate a new Secretary of Homeland Security. His pick, Kirstjen Nielsen.
Nielsen was former Secretary John Kelly's chief of staff. Trump will make the announcement either later tonight or tomorrow.
Natural disaster victims may finally be getting the financial relief they've been waiting for.
Last night, House lawmakers introduced a bill that would provide $36 billion in emergency funding for hurricane and wildfire relief.
The bill includes $18 billion for FEMA's disaster relief fund and $16 billion to replenish the nation's flood insurance program. The death toll is up to 21 in Northern California. Fires have caused more than 20,000 people to evacuate.
We have video of an officer driving through the devastation of the fire. You see nothing but embers and ash all around the car.
And the smoke makes the light almost purple.
It's hard to believe that just 2 days ago, this was a green area.
Officials say the fire is not expected to die down anytime soon. Firefighters are working to put out flames, but with no rain on the forecast, it could take days.
A threat has been made against Charlottesville City Schools this morning.
In an online post, the writer shows admiration towards the Las Vegas shooter as well as white supremacy. They then state that Charlottesville should be the next place to have a mass shooting.
The FBI and local police are currently investigating, but have put all city schools on lockdown in the meantime. The White House may have said that President Trump's challenge to the Secretary of State was a joke, but MENSA is ready to put it to the test. The Genius Society has offered to test the IQs of Trump and Rex Tillerson to prove who is smarter.
This comes after a report that Tillerson called Trump, quote, a moron. Neither has responded to MENSA's challenge.
A former Trump advisor is pleading the fifth for investigations into Russia election meddling.
Carter Page says he is concerned that documents requested by the investigation panel push beyond the case. He has also requested to appear publicly before the panel and demanded the government release what they know.
The FBI obtained a warrant to monitor Page, thinking he did secret intelligence gathering for Moscow.
U.S. government agencies are on alert after discovering Russian hackers were using Kaspersky antivirus software. That's the same program used by many government programs in the United States.
Kaspersky is a Russian software firm which operates extensively in the U.S. and is believed to be vulnerable to infiltration by the Russian government. Classified documents were confirmed to have been stolen from NSA employees' computer last month.
The Prime Minister of Spain is asking the Catalan government to clarify whether or not it had declared independence.
Mariano Rajoy has put the region on notice that it could impose direct rule on the area. Catalan leaders signed a declaration of independence last Tuesday, but halted implementation to allow for talks.
The separatist government held a disputed referendum last week. Almost 90% of the region's voters backed independence.
North Korea has allegedly stolen classified American warplanes from a South Korean military database.
The plans believed stolen contained Korean and American procedures in the event of war with North Korea. These include military strategies and plans to potentially eliminate Kim Jong-un.
The Pentagon says South Korea and the U.S. are confident that they can deal with North Korea despite the breach.
CitrusTV Weather Center. This is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Well, today was some cooler temperatures than we've seen the past couple days, but let's take a look at the rest of upstate New York. It's currently a cooler 55 in Rochester, 63 in Elmira, and a warmer 66 down in Binghamton. Now, I mentioned that we've seen some rain on and off today, but let's take a look at our Doppler radar for how much rain we should expect tonight. So we see lots of green moving through this Doppler radar. No reds or yellows signifying no thunderstorms, which is a good sign. But all this rain will continues until right about 4 a.m. and that's when you see all of that clarity. And so when you wake up tomorrow morning, the temperatures should be cooler, but all the rain should have subsided. It'll be 51 in the morning and warm up to about 60 throughout the day. The high tomorrow is 66. That chance of rain is only at 10%, so really no chance of rain tomorrow, and then some sun in the afternoon. And as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, as I mentioned, high of 66 tomorrow. Then for game day on Friday, it'll be a high of 67. No rain to ruin any parents' weekend festivities. The rest of the weekend will continue to warm up, but then we see a big drop in temperature on Monday. Some cloudy skies and a high of 56.
Thanks, Nicole. So how bad will the rain be tonight?
So we should expect this rain to continue until about 4 a.m. But honestly, I don't think the rain's going to be that bad. There's not really heavy winds, so that like sideways rain that Syracuse is known for shouldn't be present. And honestly, I have lacrosse practice still scheduled for tonight, so I can't imagine that it's going to be that bad.
And we saw a little bit more chill today, but when are we going to start having that sweater weather?
Next week, we should see some sweater weather toward the beginning of the week, but the temperatures are going to continue rising. So honestly, can't say for definite when full sweater weather is going to kick in.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Coming up, new allegations against Hollywood exec Harvey Weinstein.
And tattoos that track your health? Don't go anywhere.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Got a quarter?
You're watching Citrus TV News with Colleen Callander, Elijah Shama, and Nicole Weaving with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
Eminem is proving he's not afraid to take a stand in what may be the most vicious musical attack against the president. The rapper slammed President Trump in a video released last night titled "The Storm." Eminem called the president a racist and accused him of not caring about the country. The White House has yet to respond to the video. A week after his death, Tom Petty still won't back down. The singer topped the Billboard charts this week following his death on October 2nd. He and the Heartbreakers snagged 14 of the top 25 songs. Petty is the third singer to top the charts in the week following his death. Both Prince and David Bowie came in at the #1 spots last year. The list of women speaking out about being sexually harassed by Harvey Weinstein continues to grow. Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie spoke to the New York Times yesterday, and 3 women have claimed that Weinstein raped them. Weinstein's wife has also reacted in a big way, announcing that she's leaving her husband after 10 years of marriage.
Your new tattoo may be able to tell people even more about you than you thought. Researchers at Harvard Medical School and MIT have designed tattoo ink that changes color according to your biochemistry. If your glucose levels increase, any green in your tattoo will be changed to brown. The ink is being dubbed a mood ring for your health. The Boy Scouts of America will be allowing girls to join starting next year. The move is aimed at meeting the needs of busy families. Individual Scouts packs are being given the option to stay all male or create a separate den for girls. By 2019, girls will be able to earn the Eagle Scout rank. It may be 76 degrees in New York City today, but that didn't freeze the opening of one of the city's top winter destinations. The Rockefeller Center ice skating rink officially opened for the season this morning. Thousands are expected to lace up their skates and take to the ice for the rink's 81st season.
All right, coming up in SU Sports, a star finds home at home in Kansas City. The Yankees face do or die, and Syracuse has a historic captain. All that and more after the break.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Hi, I'm Chris Benson. It's a big weekend for Syracuse football, and the Orange face a daunting challenge. Number 2 Clemson visits the Carrier Dome for a rematch of last year's 54-0 shellacking in Death Valley. In that game, quarterback Eric Dungy left with an upper body injury that sidelined him for the remainder of the season, and Syracuse struggled without him. Regardless, nearly a year later, that loss still is fresh on the minds of the Orange, and Zaire Franklin is out for revenge.
Last year they knocked our quarterback out the game. I haven't personally forgot that, and we went down in Death Valley and got embarrassed. That's personally how I feel, and I wouldn't say that's something that I'm not the type of person that really. I wouldn't say hold grudges, because I do, but that's not really what's been on my mind. I look at things very situational, and I just think we got a unique situation coming up on Friday, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
If the Orange plan to upstage one of the best teams in the country, they'll need a Herculean effort from the man that you just saw right there, Zaire Franklin. The senior linebacker was just named a team captain for the 3rd consecutive year. He's only the 2nd player in SU football's 128-year history to be named a 3-time captain, and the 1st since 1896. That distinction puts Zaire Franklin amongst the likes of Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Donovan McNabb, and Floyd Little as one of the greatest leaders in Syracuse football history. Well, elsewhere, former at Syracuse star wide receiver Amba ETTA-TAWO has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad. ETTA-TAWO originally signed with Jacksonville as an undrafted free agent earlier this summer. The Jags then cut ETTA-TAWO at the end of training camp. The SU All-American tried out for Buffalo 2 weeks earlier, but ultimately ended up signing with the Chiefs. He's expected to bolster Kansas City's depth at wide receiver after Chris Conley was placed on injury reserve earlier this week. Well, earlier this afternoon, the Syracuse women's soccer team took an appropriately rain-soaked field for a matchup with the Miami Hurricanes. The Orange weathered the storm 1-0 the final in that one. SU took the lead off the right foot of Taylor Bennett in the 21st minute. The freshman launched a shot near midfield that caught Miami's keeper off guard and found the back of the net. That's all Cuse needed for the win. The Orange now sit at 7-5-2 as ACC play winds down. Now let's take a look at tonight's MLB playoff action. The Yankees are trying to become just the 17th team in postseason history to come back and win a series after falling behind 0-2. The Indians, however, have other plans. Cleveland will rely on the arm of AL Cy Young candidate Corey Kluber to send the Tribe back to the ALCS for the 2nd year in a row. For the Yanks, it's pure poetry. New York sends out CC Sabathia to the mound to close out a team that drafted him back all the way in 2001. First pitch tonight is scheduled in Cleveland just after 8 o'clock. As for the game currently in action, the Nationals lead the Cubs 1-0 right now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Former Syracuse Chief and current Nats shortstop Trey Turner doubled in the 3rd and came around to score on an error by the Cubs' Addison Russell. On the mound, Chicago already has dug into its bullpen. Two-game starter John Lester is in to replace Jake Arrieta. The Cubs, they hold a 2-1 series lead in that one, guys.
All right, so kind of switching sports. Big night for U.S. soccer last night. What happened?
Well, the U.S. men's national team suffered what might be one of the worst losses in their history. 2-1, they fell to Trinidad and Tobago, and really this is a loss that could set back the United States men's national team for nearly a decade. They won't have another meaningful match until the summer of 2019. It was surely a shocker by all accounts.
Definitely, and changing gears here to the NFL. I know it's a sore subject for a lot of fans, especially here in New York, but what is going on with the Giants?
Oh, it's a really sad sight down in the Big Apple. Earlier today, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie suspended for one game by head coach Ben McAdoo. What he did is he left practice the team facilities early, most of this stemming from an altercation that happened on Sunday on the sidelines of one of the games. It's really just been another blow to a team that's already just been riddled with bad news. Former star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. sidelined with an ankle injury for the remainder of the season. There's certainly a lot of problems for a team that was projected to go to the Super Bowl, and now most fans are seeing this team literally unravel right before them.
Wow. And kind of switching back to baseball, big game tonight. Can the Yankees pull it off? What are we looking for?
Well, there's a lot of power that the Yankees have in their lineup, but the Cleveland Indians have a pitching staff that's been known for shutting teams down. Andrew Miller comes out to the mound to close for them. It's going to be difficult for the Yankees to really finish off this series against such an excellent hitting team like the Indians, but I think that they can do it if they have a little bit of luck late in the game against those closers.
All right, we'll keep the Bronx Bombers in our hearts. Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
And we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Good job.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
So Nicole, what should I wear tomorrow? I'm going to class at 9:30. What's the weather going to be like?
Well, where you may have needed your rain boots today, you're definitely not going to need them tomorrow, but the temperature is going to be right around the same as it was today. So if a short sleeve shirt was all right for you today, same should be okay for tomorrow, but if you need those heavier sweatshirts, then that'll be the case.
All right, so we got a lot of parents coming up this weekend. What should they be packing for the weather?
Well, where Syracuse is normally known for pack your blizzard clothes, that won't be the case this weekend. You'll definitely want to be packing some more summery attire. You should be able to get away with shorts even possibly. I mean, that Sunday temperature is going to be in the 80s. I mean, we thought we were done with the summer temperature. It's October, but we're still here. So definitely nicer temperatures. So definitely some warmer clothes.
I'll keep the Hawaiian shirts out for a little bit longer.
Not many people can say they've hit 40 million Twitter followers, but today someone you wouldn't expect hit that mark.
Pope Francis reached the milestone, hitting 40 million this morning. This brings him closer to the 40.3 million followers held by President Donald Trump.
Right now, the top follower count goes to Katy Perry with over 100 million, but it seems the Pope is pretty popular.
Colleen, I gotta say, I think you mean pretty popular.
Elijah, maybe one day you'll have as many followers as the Pope.
I really don't think so, but here's to hoping.
That's all we have for today. For more, go online to CitrusTV.com or follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News. For Citrus TV, I'm Colleen Callander.
And I'm Elijah Shama. Have a great night, Syracuse.